Hello, everyone. On tonight's episode of UX Speaks, we'll be talking about grooming essentials, fashion, and acceptance of one's own body. Our speaker for today is Petula Brown. Petula is a freelance fashion designer and stylist. She specializes in wedding gowns and the entire white wedding trousseau. She is a celebrity stylist for red carpets and pageants. She is a personal stylist to Lopa Mudra Raut and Lucinda Nicholas. She has styled many celebrities for shoots and shows. She is also an in-house stylist with the Miss India organization and styles the pageants and national and international pageant winners of Miss India and Miss Universe. Please put your hands together for Petula Brown.
Today on our podcast session, we have with us Petula Brown. Our podcast session is going to be about grooming essentials, fashion, and accepting one's body. So, Petula, my very first question to you: what is the importance of grooming oneself, and how does it impact one's life?
So I think grooming oneself is so important because it makes you feel good. I think in the morning, if the first thing that we do, the best example that I can give is when you wake up in the morning, you feel very lazy, you don't want to get up, and you still want to sleep more. But once you freshen up, you wash your face, you feel like you're ready to take on the day. So I think that's the same thing that is the reflects on grooming yourself. I think that's very very important. So if you groom yourself, you feel good, you're ready to take on the world. And grooming also, of course, reflects on your personality. If you're going for a meeting, you're going for a brunch, you're going to meet your friends, I think it all depends on how you groom yourself, how you make sure you put your look together, in entire look together, of course, to be precise. So yeah,
Having
that's very
mentioned
very
that,
important.
yeah, so having mentioned that, what according to you is the main aspect, the most important aspect of looking after oneself? Like one important thing that you should take care of for men and for women.
Okay. So I think the most important thing that women should take care of, the most important aspect is their skin. I think skin is a very important aspect of grooming. And we usually, if now we are home because of the pandemic and we're not really going out that much. But I think skin is something that we can take care of. We are not even getting the vitamin D that we need these days, of
Exactly,
course,
right.
because of the less, interaction and going out. So main thing is skincare. I think women should definitely invest in some skincare products, and the same thing goes for men. Having good sunscreen, having good products to enhance your skin, putting a good night cream, putting a good day cream, or even for men to put a good sunscreen or to shave their beard well. I think that's a very important aspect of grooming. And I don't know why people have this misconception that only women do a lot of skincare. I know a lot of men who are also interested in skincare, so I
Yeah,
think it's
right.
very very essential to use a lot of course, natural products. You can use a lot of natural products. You don't have to invest so much money on expensive skincare products. You can use so many things at home. You have multani mitti, you have turmeric and milk, you have honey. There are different fruits that you can put on your face. There's tomato, potato, so many things that you can use. And
Very
that's,
true.
I think, one very, very important thing that people should look after themselves, because I think that's the first thing you see in people. You first see their
Right.
face or you first see their skin, how good you're taking care of yourself. And I think the second most important thing of grooming would be having the right clothes in your wardrobe that make you feel comfortable. I think that's one of very like fashion. Yes, fashion is important, but clothes that you feel comfortable in, that you feel your body feels comfortable in what are breathable. So those are also very important. They don't have to be very fashionable, but yes, has to be more comfortable. Yes.
Since you mentioned about so many like home remedies, which according to you is your favorite, which is your like go-to thing, what would you do for your skin?
So my go-to thing is aloe vera, whether it's
Okay.
store bought or it's like a drug store bought, or whether it's a natural aloe vera, like just from my plant. I think that's one thing that
Right.
I regularly use, and I can literally swear by it because whether it's wounds, even if it comes to wounds or of course your day-to-day skincare routine, aloe vera works miracles. I mean, you can drink it, you can eat it, you can put it on your face. I think that's like a miracle plant.
Okay, that's really
So
nice.
that's my go-to.
So I've also heard about this concept called as psychology of colors. So could you elaborate a little more and tell us how they function?
Yeah. So I think the psychology of colors is um, it I think very much to do with how the human psychology works. It's
Okay.
again different colors tell you a different story. So as for give you an example, it's like if you're going for a dinner, you would not wear a very light shade or a very sorbet colors or pastels. You would like to wear dark colors if you're going. Going for a party or for a wedding, you would like to wear dress according to the season, as we say, dress according to the season,
Okay.
whether it's day or night or the occasion. So the colors work in such a sense that before going for a particular event, we think, okay, whether I should wear this color. And of course, when it comes to moods as well, you think about moods. Like if I'm feeling angry, I would not want to dress up and wear some colors and all. Like I think colors also depict a kind of a mood. Like in psychology, we study, red and black are color of anger or rebellion,
Okay.
or when it comes to yellow, it's the color of pride or power, and pink is associated with femininity and feminism, and a lot of things. So I think colors have a huge role to play in our daily lives, whether it's our clothes or I think our home. The brighter the home, the more positivity I feel. So colors have a very positive role in our lives. That's very important.
Okay, that's very well said. So I think next time when I choose my colors, I'm going to check my mood first.
Yes,
What's
absolutely.
your take on the fast moving fashion? Because like is it necessary to change according to the rapidly evolving fashion or is it not necessary? What according to you is your thing?
See, I honestly speaking, if you follow trends and if you're someone who's into fashion, I don't think anybody can follow all the trends because
Right.
everything is moving so fast. Because every day there's some or the other new trend that you feel, should I go ahead with this? Will this suit me? I mean, I'm sure it doesn't suit everyone's pocket as well. So
Right.
it's very important to make sure what you can. So this is where your creative bit comes in. You have to have those wardrobe essentials, like I'm talking about a basic denim or a basic white shirt, or basic innerwear. So there's so much you can experiment with these. So if you're moving with trends, there are different times where you can just mix and match and move along with the trends. Even if you don't have to copy it, you can move along with it. But of course, as we all are talking about fashion, the fashion industry, or the clothing industry creating so much waste and harming the environment and etc., I think it's better to recycle, to reuse, to use. I know so many of my blogger friends and all who literally use their dad's shirts or their brother's shirts, and then
Right, yeah.
just cut them up and make them into shirt dresses and all. So I think that's one way of moving with the fashion but still being sustainable and taking care of the environment. So it's a very important aspect, yes. And it suits your pocket as well, not like
That's a really good pro tip, I think, for us. Also, I've heard about like you notice
yeah.
when you look at the person, the first thing you notice is their footwear. So, how important is footwear in?
Yes. I think for me, footwear is one of the most important things, and it should be for everyone. Of course, uh, it depends on person to person. There are so many people who I know who are crazy about heels. Like I love heels, and I love different colors, and I would love to own literally every color possible in my wardrobe. So it's really important to know the person. So there are certain people who love dressing, having comfort footwear. So I think that's very very important. And when you look at the footwear, I usually know people, and especially me, I decide my wardrobe or my look according to my footwear. I know that's the most
That
tiniest
makes two
thing
of us.
in someone's wardrobe,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think you can. put an entire look together just looking at your footwear.
Right.
And you can wear the simplest of clothing and have the best footwear. So yeah, I think that's very, very important. You have to give your feet some rest, comfort, and especially for people who are working, I think footwear is a mandate. And in my field, believe me, you might be feeling it's real, all glamorous and all fun being in a fashion show or something. But I can never wear heels in a fashion show. I have to wear sneakers and they have to be really comfortable because I have to work and run around 12 hours a
Right.
day. So I need to wear the most comfortable footwear. So I think it's nowadays there are so many options of having comfortable yet very fancy or colorful looking footwear. And yes, and going back to our previous question, that colors are so important that they actually help you feel good. So even if you have footwear and if you want comfort, you can still have great colors and combinations. And as you're talking about, there's so many blogs and all that you must be seeing that people usually mix and match their laces
Right.
or
Yeah, yeah,
socks.
yes. I've seen that a lot, yes.
Yeah. So I think that's a wonderful trend that you can follow. And yeah, footwear for me is a mandate. It's a must.
Okay. Okay, moving on to our next question. Can you elaborate on the difference between a perfume, a deodorant, and a cologne, and which one should be applied for what occasion?
Okay. So I think a deodorant is something that you can wear on a daily basis if you are going to work, because a deodorant is basically for body odor. So if you don't want, as soon as you take a shower and all, you can absolutely just apply deodorant. Most important thing, which differentiates perfume and all from deodorant, is deodorant should not be applied directly onto your clothing, because most of them have certain kind of like a white residue that they leave on your clothing, and which never comes out if you wash it, even if you wash it. So that's one thing. Then I think a perfume is meant for special occasions. Perfume can directly be applied to your skin or on your clothes. Usually, people have this trend, where they spray the perfume and then they walk into it. So some people do that as well.
Right.
So that shouldn't be put on a regular basis, because perfumes are expensive. Deodorants are very affordable because they're for daily use. Perfumes are more expensive and extravagant and meant for special occasions. Cologne is something that you can apply on your body. You can just like under your eye, under your ears. Basically, you can apply cologne under your ears or on your hand, on your neck. So that I think is something that is more long lasting. When it comes to long lasting, I think colognes last the longest,
Okay.
then perfumes, and then deodorants. Yeah, and they all have different pricing, of course. I think deodorant is the cheapest, then cologne, then perfume.
Okay. Okay. Also, could you give our viewers and listeners a little idea on how to choose ornaments?
Okay. So I think choosing ornaments or any fashion jewelry or actual jewelry that you're choosing definitely depends on the kind of neckline you're going to wear. So if you have a neckline which is a V-neck or something, people usually wear chokers, and you can layer up if you're wearing V-necks. So always keep in mind the kind of clothing, and then choose your ornaments. Of course, earrings. We have earrings, we have necklaces, we have all different kind of jewelry. So having the basics is very important. Like some people have like very similar small chains, whether it's gold or silver. So having basics are very important. But if you want to choose more fashionable jewelry, then you should definitely think about the neckline you are going to wear the particular piece with. So think about the neckline, think about how much is going to be visible. If you're wearing a solid print top, then you can go ahead with a lot of color in your jewelry. If you're wearing something which is printed, like something what I'm wearing, but it is V-neck, then you should go ahead with something smaller, because it's going to be on your skin. If it's on your skin, it's more visible, and if it's on your if it's on a print, then you will not be able to see it that clearly. So yeah, always keep in mind your what you're wearing, your garments, and then go ahead with jewelry, and never spend too much on one piece. This is one suggestion. I think more is less when it comes to jewelry and fashionable ornaments and all of that. So, with clothing, I always believe, uh, if you have limited clothing, you can do a lot. But I think having more accessories and more ornaments in jewelry always gives you more options to spruce up your entire look. If you have good options and if you have good jewelry, you can make a simple look, you know, out of this world.
Okay, that's really well said. Okay. Okay. So I've also heard about how people match their watch to the belt and to the color of their shoes. So can you tell us like what is the importance and the significance of this?
So I think when it comes to the watches and belts, I think men are very, very particular about this. As I think men are the most particular about their watches, their belts, and their shoes. I think the significance is that, especially when it comes to people who are into very minimal accessories, they like for their shoes, their belt, their watches to match. And I think if you are someone who's going to work on a regular basis or someone who has a corporate job, if you don't want to dress up too much as well, this is something very minimal but can make your entire look very classy. I think it's a very classic look if your belt and your watch is a match. And I think it comes down from generations. It's a very olden practice, which I think is from the 1900s, where people used to make sure that even if they don't have a lot of jewelry, but their watch and their belt has to match. And I might want to add to it, it's like watch, your belt, your bag, and your shoes. So these four things need to absolutely match. So if your belt is brown, you wear a brown watch, you wear brown shoes, and you have a brown bag. So it's like that.
Okay, nice. Also, how important is makeup for you for a glamorous look, and how should it be done for different occasions?
So makeup is, makeup is something that nowadays, I think in the 2000s, people have moved so much towards makeup, and it has always been evolving. And I think makeup is so important when it comes to a daily look. When we go for, if we see on TV, there are so many times we see that pe- people say that this is a no makeup look, but the no
Right,
makeup look also has a lot of makeup.
right.
It's just that we can't make out that there is makeup on. So I think having the right makeup is very, very important. Right from a glamorous look to a simple daily look, uh, everyone should be, aware of their bone structure, their face, and I think learning makeup is not really very difficult nowadays, because we have so many Instagram influencers and bloggers who we can, learn from when it comes to makeup. And I think uh, glamorous look always, if you're wearing, I always believe in one thing, and I think I did a video on this as well, so I'll like to repeat it. When you are in a very glamorous look and when your outfit is over the top and it's really elaborate, I think everyone should go with a simple makeup. And if your outfit is very simple, go with a very glam makeup. It always helps. So
Nice.
there should be always one aspect in your whole look which is like a focal point.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I did not know about this. Okay, moving on to our next question. So, since you mentioned about like how important makeup is, and I personally don't use makeup, so I've heard a lot of insecurities of people have
Okay.
insecurity of their body type or about the way they dress or the way they groom themselves.
Yes.
So, what is the first step according to you to overcome these insecurities?
I wanted to start. I basically was going live a lot on social media
Okay.
because someone like me, of course, I would like to share this on my personal experience for all of those out there. I was, when 4 years ago, I was 43 to 50 kgs, just in between that. But usually women, like I'm talking about women, I know men also go through a lot of changes in their in a particular age, of course. But when it comes to women, it is very natural for anyone to feel insecure about their body, whether you are skinny or you are a little overweight. You always feel insecure whether this will suit me or this won't. I think there is no simple way to feel secure about yourself. It's just that we need to accept our body the way it is, whether it is acne, or it is a little, you have a curvy body, or you are a little overweight, or you're underweight, or there are certain things that you're fighting. And we have so many hormonal changes in women. As I mean, I'm talking about a simple thing that every woman goes through. The whole idea about this is to accept what life is throwing at you, accept your changes. There will be a time where things will change. So I think feeling confident, and I am so happy and proud to see that nowadays there are so many influencers and so many people talking about body positivity and about how important it is to love yourself the way you are. Because believe me, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody, you can't love anything else. So that should always, they always say that whenever is an example I'm giving you, in a flight, when they say that in case of any cabin pressure or oxygen levels, first wear your own mask and then put
Right.
on the mask for others. So same way, I think it's very important for you to take care of yourself and love yourself first, because if you don't do that, you will not be able to spread the love. So love your body. Take care of yourself, your skin, your men, women, anyone. Just love yourself as you are, and that's the only way you will be able to move towards grooming yourself and being fashionable or whatever. There are clothing for all sizes. All sizes are beautiful, and they say that makeup or clothing shouldn't have any size differences and all of that. So just positivity and loving yourself is the key. That's it.
That's really well said. Okay. So
Thank you.
I've heard a lot of myths. I'm sure even you have heard a lot of myths about fashion or about body grooming. So can you burst out a little myths
Yeah.
to our audience, like break them for them?
I think the myth would be you should always dress according to your body type. I think that's a myth. I don't believe in that, because I think everyone should be able to dress according to what they like. It should never be like, okay, this doesn't look good on you. I think many years ago people used to follow this, and in when we were also taught, that people need to get dress according to their body type. But I have a feeling now that you just need to wear what you like. There's no such thing as dressing according to your body type. Just wear what you like, wear what you love, wear what looks nice in you. That's one myth. And I think the other myth would be, like, we call it like a fashion fad, is that people who eat well have good skin. That's a myth. Sorry, but that's a myth. I don't eat well. I I'm someone who would never, eat. So of course it's very good to eat healthy, but uh, all there are people who eat a lot of healthy food but still have breakouts and acne and all of that. So I think that's only it's about your hormones and it's your body. It's not always about what you eat. It's not always about what you eat. So these are the two myths that I know of.
Okay. So coming to our last question, since you're always shooting or always on the go, what according to you is the most essential things you require in your handbag?
Hmm. Oh my God, my handbag is literally like a big, I would call it a black hole or a Bermuda Triangle. So anything you put inside gets lost, and it's so
Okay.
difficult to find something. So, I would always say never carry a big bag, because I have always been carrying big bags, and it's so difficult to search for things in bags. So, yeah, the very important essential thing in your bag, I would firstly say a power bank. Power bank is very important because my phone always loses battery. That's most important. Then I would say, okay, of course, having your lipstick, the shade that you want to, because I think that's one thing. You're talking, you're eating, uh, your entire makeup might stay. but your lipstick is one thing I think that you have to keep retouching all the time. So your lipstick, wet wipes, then deodorant or a perfume. Coming back to that, money, of course, money is very important, and I always have my earphones, like my headphones or my earphones in my uh, bag. That is also very important. Um, a diary and a pen. There'll be. I'm very old school, so I know that's very important to have a diary and a pen with you because I'm not someone who will type things on my phone. So a diary and a pen is very important.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. But there will be 10 days Purana stuff also in my bag, which I don't
Right.
need. So I think that's the case with everyone. So yeah, those are the essential things that I need in my bag.
Okay, nice. Okay, so before we end this session, we'd like to have a small little activity with you. This game is called This or
Okay.
That. I will give you two options and you pick
Okay.
one. Okay? So the first
Okay.
one,
Great.
sneakers or heels,
Heels,
dresses or jumpsuits,
dresses,
backless or cold shoulder,
cold shoulder,
okay, bags or clutches,
clutches,
pants or skirts,
skirts,
Indian or Western,
western,
okay, hoodies or sweatshirts,
sweatshirt,
lipstick or lip gloss,
lipstick,
kajal or an eyeliner,
eyeliner,
okay, last one, pastel or print.
pastel. Though I'm
Okay.
wearing print right now, but I love pastels.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that was a really lovely session with you. Thank you for being such an amazing guest on our show. We really had a lot to take back from
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you so much, and it was really a pleasure talking about it. I hope this helps everyone, whatever we spoke. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.